Yo, for today's quick Gen-2 VLA test, we're looking at how it handles a single-lane road, dealing with pulled-over buses 3 times in a row. But before we get to that, I'm gonna show you the footage right before we hit those buses. Might as well show you some good clips, right? There's some pretty cool stuff here, like this U-turn coming up. I've actually filmed a bunch of older NGP versions doing this exact same route before. Look, it correctly got into one of the 2 right side U-turn lanes. Let me lower the front camera angle so you guys can see the traffic lights up ahead and how the SR system reads the signals. This time around, it actually picked the inner U-turn lane, usually taking the inside lane. If the car hesitates even a little bit or messes up the turning radius, it ends up crossing paths with the cars on the outside lane, and then you just get stuck. Green light, it immediately cranks the wheel. Look at that speed, absolutely zero hesitation. It didn't even give the outside cars a chance to play chicken with us. One clean sweep from the innermost lane, straight into the innermost lane on the other side. Exactly how it should be. In the past, the inside lane was always kinda clunky. That jerky vibe. Definitely not it. Obviously, this U-turn is on my daily commute home, so there's no way I only recorded this once. Let me pull up another clip of it doing this U-turn and drop it in right here, again, on the inside lane. But this time there's traffic taking the outside lane too. But the NGP is still super decisive. Look at that, buttery smooth in one go. Alright, that last clip wasn't even the main point of this video. The focus is how it handles the 3 stopped buses. Let's keep watching. Gonna fast forward through all the boring parts here. But coming up next, there's another mini scenario worth showing. In these kinds of side streets where traffic is relatively chill, watch closely. A 2-wheeler suddenly pops out up ahead and cuts across the street. Immediately slows down. It wasn't an aggressive brake at all. Honestly, you got to rewatch the footage to really appreciate the system's reaction time. Look at our speed and where the bike is. We were cruising at 34 kilometers per hour. By the time the bike reached this spot, the car had already started braking. And right here, just as the bike cleared our driving path, the speed dropped to 29 kilometers per hour. So the whole deceleration process basically brought our speed down to around 26 kilometers per hour. Over that distance, dropping about 8 kilometers per hour is actually super smooth. Alright, now for the back-to-back bus encounters. First bus appears up ahead. We're driving on a road that's literally just a single lane, and there's oncoming traffic too. Check this out. As early as this point, the blue trajectory line already shows the system intends to go around it, and by the time we get here, the bypass path is fully mapped out. The oncoming car hasn't even fully passed yet, but the steering wheel is already turning to initiate the bypass. Super agile. It successfully got around the stopped bus, and during the maneuver, our speed went right back up to around 34 kilometers per hour. Let's play it at normal speed so you can see how effortless and seamless that bypass felt. Now let's see how it handles the next bus. You can see the A-on ahead of us already crossed the line to pass the stopped bus. But this time, NGP didn't choose to bypass. Instead, it slowly braked to a stop. The difference from the last scenario is that we have a solid yellow line here, not a solid or dashed white line. Plus, the more crucial factor is that within a really short distance, there's a steady stream of oncoming traffic. Look at all these oncoming cars passing by. At this point, the bus up ahead starts moving again. So we start moving too, just following along. But you know how buses are. Whenever there's a stop, they have to pull over to pick up and drop off passengers. So obviously, it's gonna stop again up ahead. Let's see how NGP handles it this time. Getting closer now. The bus is still maintaining its speed. Wait, there it goes, slowing down on the steering wheel. There are other cars and bikes right next to us, so it yields for a super perfectly timed and immediately hits the gas to pass. Let me rewind that real quick. Pay close attention to the reaction speed. Look at the speed of the car ahead. The second it slows down, NGP turns the wheel. Again, absolutely zero hesitation. Super smooth, super comfortable. It exactly matches how you'd expect to drive if you were doing it yourself. That wraps up this episode's showcase. Stay tuned for the next one.